two very important things happened in 2004. Just two. One of them, Spider-Man 2 came out. Greatest movie ever made. And two, Since You've Been Gone by Kelly Clarkson hit the airwaves. Welcome to Not Every Single. I'm Joe.
And I'm Stephanie.
So this is a song, there's no way that we could do like a Joe hears for the first time, because obviously I've heard this song, you know?
It's ubiquitous. Yeah. I mean, maybe Breakaway was a bigger song, but I think this was the more influential, as we're going to get into.
Yeah, I'm way less familiar with Breakaway. I kind of know it. Like I assume I've heard it, but Since You've Been Gone, yeah, it was everywhere. It's like I listened to it today with headphones. It was the first time I was giving it like this detailed listen, and I already felt like I knew every little bit of it.
Every moment, yeah.
I like knew, oh yeah, I like how the drums kind of like come in when you don't think they would, and it's like this little dinky drum machine until it explodes. like I was like, oh yeah, I kind of already, I didn't even have to listen to it.
Yeah, you know? I'm so familiar with this album that I didn't have to, I've probably listened to it hundreds of times.
So you had the album.
I had the album.
CD.
I don't really know why I bought it at the time. I wasn't like a Kelly Clarkson fan. It must have been, the singles that drew me to it, and it really became my like listen to in the car song.
I could see that.
Yeah, like just yelling, like trying to hit some of those notes and failing.
You mean you couldn't hit all those high notes?
I'll get there someday.
Now, this was produced by, of course, Max Martin and some other guy, but Max Martin is the important person to talk about here. He's brought so many big, massive, influential songs to pop music. Britney Spears, Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, all these guys. And that's a Swedish songwriter-producer, Max Martin.
Yeah, kind of one of the most prolific songwriters and producers of pop music. So it's interesting because this sort of worked out where Kelly Clarkson, she had her debut album, very pop, and then she wanted to go in a more rock direction. Yeah. And separately, Max Martin also wanted this song to go, it originally was more of a pop song.
Yeah, it was presented to a couple different artists. It was brought to Hilary Duff, who rejected it just because she couldn't really do it justice. She couldn't hit those notes the way Kelly could.
Who can?
Yeah. I mean, you could turn the key, you could
change the key,
come down a little bit, but it just wouldn't hit the same way.
Yeah.
So she passed on it, and it was ultimately ended up in the hands of Kelly Clarkson. Her label said, "Fly to Sweden. I know your album's almost done."
But yeah, it was she had recorded like everything.
Yeah, I know your album's done. Get to Sweden, meet up with Max Martin, and, she's smart. She knew, like, yeah, I better get my ass to Sweden if Max Martin wants to make a hit song with me.
Yeah.
And, yeah, he was thinking, this yeahs, the Strokes, like this New York, this very New York indie rock explosion has just happened. And hearing songs like Maps be this mainstream hit really made him want to bring that into pop.
Yeah, I basically said that they wanted to make Maps into a song with a good pop chorus.
Right. Yeah, he thought that Maps was a great song, but when it got to the chorus, it kind of went down,
Incorrect.
Yeah, incorrect. Maps is perfect. It's just perfect. It's a perfect album even. It might even be a perfect band. Well, actually, their album Mosquito sucks. But back to this song. So Kelly wanted to bring that in as well. So it was this perfect moment, and it sounds like that kind of thing happened a lot in that studio in Sweden.
Right. Yeah.
Just this like, it was like that something in the air,
something magical.
Everyone would just be on the same page, busting out hit after hit after hit. And I can see why this kind of loud, quiet, loud thing really worked in the mainstream, because it's just anthemic. It's a big explosion.
They just know how to write good melodies, good pop songs. ABBA was the first band to really come out of there and be a pop group. And ever since then, it's everyone was like, okay, this is how we make pop songs. Okay, we're going to do it as a business, not like they approach it more, I think, intellectually than creatively in some ways.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's like they're cracking the code, the mathematics of it or something. And when this thing came out, I mean, her voice mixed with those big guitars and big sounding drums in the chorus, like, it's just undeniable. It's such an obvious no-brainer hit.
Right.
Like the label must have had no doubt that this was going to be like the biggest song.
Yeah, I mean, it was super successful. It's had great critical reception. It's endured all this time.
Won a Grammy
for Best Female Pop Performance.
Best Female Pop Performance. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you got to throw all the Grammys at that in the pop category. Sorry, I'm interrupting.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and then, of course, at the time, Kelly Clarkson just fell into the same category of a lot of female singers of, like, not legit, like pop and not taken seriously.
Like, especially because she like came from American Idol.
Yeah,
that maybe she was less legitimate than a Madonna or something.
Or she was doing, she's kind of like post Avril Lavigne and all that kind of era of like pop rock, but like really taking it to another level. I don't think it was respected at the time, especially it was not like emphasized that this was like her choice to take it in this direction.
Sure.
And, now there's a lot of, again, like with a lot of female artists, there's a lot of kind of retroactively looking back and being like, this was really like brave and groundbreaking of her to like do an album like this. And that's partly why it was so massively successful.
Yeah,
because it was different. It sounded different. It sounded, and like people, it was kind of like how Toxic brought in a lot of people by Britney Spears, people who wouldn't normally like pop music. I know there was a contingency of like indie rock people who were like, I actually really like that song.
14-year-old me loved that song.
Yeah.
I was listening to Surfer Rosa by the Pixies and then watching the Toxic music video. You can like both.
Yeah.
It's a concept that we didn't really get back then, especially, at my age, being in like middle school, high school, when all this stuff is coming out, Avril, Kelly Clarkson. I remember the word poser being thrown around a lot. And it's so ridiculous when you think back on it. It's like, poser of what?
Yeah.
Like, they made a rock song. It sounds good. Everyone likes it. So poser of what? Like,
I'm sure she listened to rock music growing up. It just doesn't make any sense. And even like Karen O, who I love, yeahs, and hopefully this is not the way she feels, anymore. But Karen O just said like, basically she trashed it. She was like, they copied us, and it's offensive that they did this.
Well, okay, I'm gonna come in kind of in the middle here because, well, I guess. One, she's like a New York punk kid.
Yeah.
Of course she's going to trash this like big pop artist or whatever. But when listening to it today, I had that quote in mind. And when it does get to that part, that sounds pretty much exactly like the post-chorus of Maps.
Yeah.
It is a little egregious, and it's not really a necessary part in Since You've Been Gone. It's not even a part I remembered. It's a little too close for my liking.
Yeah.
And I'd say if I was going to knock anything about the song, it'd be that little part.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure in their minds it was like an Easter egg almost. They probably should have just credited Nick Zinner,
That would have been good.
For that part.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure they still would have been like, I hate it. But,
I guess we'll cut to a little, here's the parts we're talking about. So what do you think? I mean, I think it's a little too close. I want to hear what you guys think in the comments. Regardless, it's been so long now. Who cares? Like, they've both had like so many other big hits. Yeahs has Heads Will Roll and went into a more pop dancey direction after all.
True, yeah.
So it's water under the bridge anyway. This song is undeniable. It's timeless. The production sounds great. It doesn't really sound like 2004 to me.
Right.
You mentioned Toxic. I think that's right up there with like pop songs that were released at that time that sound like they could be released yesterday and still be fresh.
And that
you
are
know?
still like highly regarded in retrospect. Like it's you look back on it now and go like, yeah, that was the perfect song to put out right then.
Were those the same year? Because I think In the Zone was 2004.
Ooh,
Yeah, good year for
that would
pop.
be crazy.
Really good year for pop. I've never heard the album Breakaway, so like if you want to see a video where we talk like this but about the entire album, let us know. It's a little, it'll be a little longer, but I'd like to hear the rest, hear the work surrounding the peak work. That's something we've said
There's a
before.
lot of cool like rock pop on that album.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
then
yeah.
I'd probably be into it then.
I think so. I think you'd like a lot of it.
It's mostly like rockin'.
Yeah. Oh, Walk Away. You got to hear it.
Want to hear me hear Walk Away, then go ahead and subscribe, and we'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. This is Not Every Single. I'm Joe.
And I'm Stephanie.
I forgot that's what I say next. Okay, bye.